Hello, Joe. Good to have you here. Hello, good man. It's good to have you here. Yes, Joe, I have made you a co-host, so you can unmute.
Thank you. Nice to see everybody here.
Yeah.
So I understand we're here for a demo of the Unit Network platform, and that somebody had to cancel last minute. So I'm here to save the day, hopefully. So I'm Joe Rotondi. Nice to meet all of you. I just see Agman's face, but nice to see all of the pictures of some of your faces. I'm a co-founder of Unit, and so I'm not sure how far we are into the master's cohort right now, but how many weeks are we in?
Week 2, actually. Second
week. 2.
Yeah.
Cool. So people are just kind of getting their feet wet, learning a little bit about crypto and blockchain. Yeah, that's great. So you want to wait a little bit, or should I?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'd just like to say thank you for saving the day and coming on board. So everyone, let's make welcome Joe to today's demo session.
Great, thanks everyone. So the Unit Network platform, maybe just as a little bit of an understanding of what Unit is. Maybe I'll just share my screen since I'm going to be demoing anyway. So this is the main Unit Network page. So Unit is it's a tokenization platform for tokenizing everything in the world, basically real world assets like, let's say, Agama or Ashvin or Rosa. Everyone's going to have their own personal token. Everyone will have their own business. Every business will be tokenized. And what Unit makes it very easy to do is tokenize those things and have the real value of let's say a Joe token or a personal token or a business token represent the value of that real thing in the world. So it's a subtle but powerful innovation on Unit that allows that to happen. And I guess that's all today, kind of how that works and how you can create your own token, and then also how Unit makes it valuable and represents effectively kind of a global stock market for everything. So Unit.network can launch the app here, and that brings us to a login page. I'll use this login. It's effectively my my wallet. If you haven't, there's an invite link that somebody, maybe you've already used it, maybe you already have a wallet on Unit, but it's a PIN code was put in last week. So now you will log in plus PIN code for extra security, and you get into. So if you open up Unit, if you open up Unit and you have wallet open here in your wallet, but this wallet has some of my Joe token, my personal token, some Unit token, which is the home token of the network. We've got city tokens, so there's a Mumbai token in here, and then we have stable tokens like like dollars, USDU or GBPU for the British pound, or JPYU for the yen, and this is the USDU. So there's a little bit of each of those in this wallet. So first thing is, if you were to you come into Unit, you go, okay, what is this token thing? Like, why would it be valuable? We'll just use the Unit token as an example. So this token, or Agama or Ashfin or Joe, but it's a Unit here, right? So each token has its own, as effectively the same kind of tools or attributes that make it something that can be valuable. All right, so you've got Bitcoin out there, you've got Ethereum, you've got NFTs, all kinds of tokens out there trading in the world. They have a trading value, but then their fundamental value, if nobody wants even Bitcoin, is zero, right? There's nothing backing it up. And that's not the case with, let's say, Microsoft stock or Apple. People that have Apple stock, they don't, if nobody wants Apple stock, it won't fall down to zero. Apple has a book value. It has assets backing it up. So if the shareholders don't want Apple anymore, they'll just vote to liquidate the company and take all the assets of Apple, the cash, the inventory, and they just split it up. So there's a book value to a company that tokens to this point don't have. Unit changes that so that each token has a fundamental value, a minimum value that the trading will not fall below, because the token holders have a claim on that book value. All right, so unit. So here's the unit token. You can see that there's a billion total supply that can be issued. We've got about almost over 14% of them issued, 142 million. But what backs it up in this, what we call a treasury, is digital assets. So there are 18 different ones: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, 18 different tokens that can be what's called wrapped. So Bitcoin is useful on the Bitcoin network, but it's not useful you can't use it outside of the Bitcoin network. So people wrap, let's say, Bitcoin onto the Ethereum blockchain in this sort of like, you get wrapped Bitcoin on the Ethereum chain, but you send Bitcoin to a wallet, and then someone issues wrapped Bitcoin, but it's not really Bitcoin. It's just somebody holding Bitcoin and then issuing a new token that's sort of pegged as Bitcoin. So now these two highways, the Bitcoin highway, the Ethereum highway, both people can trade Bitcoin, but it's not real Bitcoin on the Ethereum chain. So that creates sort of a central point of failure, because if whoever's holding that Bitcoin can be hacked, or can be, somebody can steal it, or government can shut them down. So there's a central point of failure. With Unit, you can wrap Bitcoin, Ethereum, there's some DOT, Binance, BNB, Matic, which is Polygon, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, Bitcoin. There are other ones that are not in this treasury, but you can wrap those onto the Unit chain, and BTC becomes BTCU. So it's now wrapped Bitcoin on the Unit network, but it's not held in. It's not this like one lane highway that the central point of failure that can be exploited by someone. So the wrapping and unwrapping is kind of beyond the scope of this conversation. Just so you know, the BTC becomes BTCU on the Unit network, and then backs up. So somebody can buy Unit with Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin that they use goes into the treasury to back it up. So, as I mentioned, there's like no lowest price of tokens out there right now, but the Unit token has a lowest price, and that's 0.6 cents right now. So there's $6 million, almost $6 million in the Unit treasury. There are a billion total supply of Unit. So 6 million divided by a billion is 6 cents, or about 0.6 cents. So that means that is effectively the book value of the Unit token. So that means that then when you go over to this exchange, the Unit token trades on what's called an automated market maker, maybe a little bit beyond the scope of what we're talking about here, but it's effectively, if you're familiar with Uniswap or PancakeSwap, some of these automated market makers, there's USDU, which is the dollar stablecoin of the Unit network, and then Unit. But imagine this is like Ashfin or Rosa. So it's USDU and Rosa, USDU, Ashfin, USDU, Joe. So each one of these, each token comes with its own liquidity pool, this automated market maker, where people can trade the token. And all the trades are over here. You can see the Unit token has been trading recently people buying and selling and basically creating prices with this pool. So they trade with the pool, and so it has a trading price. The trading price of unit right now is right here is 46 cents. And then the book value is half a cent. So it's trading at about 100 times its current book value. So as the tokens, as more value goes in the treasury, it builds up that floor price, and then of course fundamental increase in value causes the people to be trading the actual token, and it gets more value. So people buy and sell at a higher price on an exchange, just like they would for Microsoft Apple, that earns money, gets earnings. So Apple rises, the stock price rises because people, expect Apple to earn more money in the future. So, so that's the sort of like the way that unit allows for people to have a trading price, but also something backing it up. If you want to create your own token, we'll just do that as an example here. It's very super simple. So I'll create a Ruben token, because I can see your name up here, Ruben. Thanks for turning on your camera. So call this Ruben token. So REUBN, create. And that's how fast that is. So now it's Ruben up here instead of unit or Joe or whatever. So this is, let's say it's Ruben's personal token. Now it's not, because I created it. If he created it, he has the ability to put when he earns. So okay, so let's use Ruben as an example. So let's say Ruben has 100,000 tokens, which he does here. It's 100,000 Ruben tokens. He's making $1 million a year, in the world. And so he's making $1 million. He puts $1 million into his local bank wherever he lives. And now it's like him and the bank. The bank he puts it in a checking account, and the bank owes him that, the money, that the $1 million that he puts there, because that's the way banking works. So, I mean, we're seeing the fraying of that, in the last couple of weeks, but be that as it may. So now it's a relationship with him and the bank. Well, what if you took that $1 million, instead of putting it in the bank, and now it's just him and the bank, he puts it into his Ruben token treasury. So we'll go in the treasury here, and since I created this token, let's say, all right, so I'm gonna send some money to this treasury. So I can go, let's say I have put a little bit of unit in there. All right, so send. I'll send some unit to this treasury. Oh, I don't think unit comes up here. Well, we won't do it because I don't have any of these tokens. So in this wallet, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Binance, these are tokens that have value out there in the world. We could send some any of these tokens to the Ruben token treasury. Let's assume that we did that. Now Ruben token has some Bitcoin in there, whatever. He puts $1 million in there of Bitcoin, right? So now if let's say Rosa and Ashvin and I each have like 1,000 of his Ruben tokens, that means that each of us can access 1% of his treasury without his permission. So what that means is what he puts in there is like a dividend payment to token owners. And what's cool about that is that then when he goes public on this exchange, he's going public as a person. This is all free to do. So it's like, cutting out all the costs of going public on a centralized exchange like Microsoft or Apple had to do, or for Facebook. He as a person is now shared with his community. So everybody can share in each other's success. If we have some Ruben token, you guys have some Joe token, we all care about each other's success and future even more than we would have or did before, just because we have relationships with each other or whatever it is. Now we have a financial interest in each other's success. So it's quite cool because it creates for, everyone having shared futures and, can help with peace in the world. You know, everyone in the world, 8 billion people in the world can have their own personal token. I think, you know, every business will be tokenized. We'll all be able to share ownership. So it really might do something for war, or, you know, conflict in general. So that's quite cool. And I guess that's how you create your own token. That's how you know, sort of okay. So how do you get the Bitcoin onto the unit network? Maybe it's something to show. Agama, maybe just jump in, and if I'm going in the right direction for you, just let me know. So you can deposit all of these tokens. Let's say we want to deposit some Avalanche. I think actually I'll do that. I'll show you how it works. So it's quite cool. It's automated deposits. So Avalanche will send in $20 worth of Avalanche. Okay. This is one of the 18 different assets. And now I hit deposit. Okay. Now I'm going to do this on my phone because I have some Avalanche on Trust Wallet. So it's just making it easier. So if I need to send this exact amount of AVAX, or it won't be processed. So that's what I'll do. I'll Avalanche, I need to send 1.1396 AVAX to, and I took a scan of that address. Oh, what happened? Interrupted. All right, I got the address. Now I'll hit send and confirm, and this should literally complete like very quickly here. So it's refreshing every 5 seconds. You can even hit refresh. Done. Deposit successful. So that's super cool. That just came into existence a couple of weeks ago. It used to be a little bit more manual process. So now we can see in my wallet that I have some AVAXU token that I can use in the token economy. So what we're building is the network state of every person being tokenized and going public as themselves or as their business. And, you know, the more capital that's flowing in and out through this system becomes like a Dubai or, you know, Singapore or Hong Kong, or the US used to be in the 1800s, you know, a really big country where people move to, and they come and plant their token projects, like immigrate to this country, and then, you know, and build this network state from the inside out. So now we can send some Avalanche to this to the new Rubin bank that I created. That's what we'll do. To send, maybe send $1 worth of it. So that's how much AVAX will go. And Rubin, this is the token, sending it to the token treasury. All right. So Rubin, send that $1 worth and transfer it. And now we'll go look at this new token that I created, called Rubin. And where is it now? Oh, there it is. Okay. Here's the Rubin token. We can look in the treasury. We can see that there is $1 of AVAX in there, 0.06. So now I have 100% of the Rubin tokens because I created the token. But, you know, any of you, I could send any of you the Rubin token. And if you had one Rubin token, you would have 1/100,000th of that dollar of AVAX that I put in there without my permission. I can get rid of this. I didn't see that pop up. So that's really cool because I can also raise money. So I'm having a sale of Rubin token. I can create a new stage, basically like a new sale round. So I can sell 100 Rubin tokens for $1 each. So let's sell 1,000. I have 1,000 for sale at $1 each. And that's available to, I need to make it pending. Oh, okay. So I can make it open to anyone in the community by making it here active. So now you can see on the sale page right here, should be active. Didn't I make it active? No, I didn't save. All right, so at the bottom, update sales stage. And that should be available now, yeah. So back to token, sale, active. So anybody that's on Unit Network, and I think all of you, maybe by signing up for the master's program, you have an account on Unit Network. You can deposit anything. You can deposit Bitcoin. I deposited AVAX. You can come to this Rubin token treasury, which I think I'll cancel it. Although I did put something in the treasury, so I can't cancel it. But you can come buy some Rubin. You can buy Unit. You can buy anything on the network, and you can deposit and buy, and then you have your proportion of the treasury. What I can then do is go on the Rubin token exchange, and I can provide liquidity for people to be able to buy it. I can go public as this. So I have very little USDU here. So maybe 0.005. And then I'll put 5 Rubin in there and stake it. Is that even going to take? Yeah, I can confirm a stake. So now I didn't have enough. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because effectively what will happen is this pool will have something in it, and then people can buy USDU, which is another token that you can just go buy on its sale round and then come here and buy it. So I hope this is maybe I'll stop for a minute and see if people have questions, because I'm kind of saying a lot of things here. I'm not sure what kind of background we have. Am I saying all businesses will be tokenized, or that they will be tokenized in the Unit community? Good question. And that was 17 minutes ago. Thanks for that. Please write questions here as well. I can answer them. I think that all businesses and people will be tokenized, people that have internet connection anyway, because there's a strong reason to do it. For the same reason you'd go public, as a company. If you're a private company, you might be able to make money. You might be able to find a private equity buyer or a venture capitalist who might pay, let's say, a small multiple of your sales or your earnings, maybe 2 times your earnings, because there's a small number of private equity buyers out there. But you go public, on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, there are 300 to 400 million stock buyers in the world. So you get a much bigger multiple, maybe 30 or 40 times your last year's earnings. So you effectively kind of have the ability to access all the public markets. That's the public markets, traditionally centralized exchanges. But what Unit allows for is reaching all the world's people, because it's very accessible. I mean, anyone, even in North Korea, if you can get an internet connection, you can access this public market and create your own token and kind of like circumvent the top-down infrastructure. It could all happen on Unit. I think we're certainly ahead in terms of development, but I think the power of that will catch on, and people will maybe copy it, the code. But effectively, if we get a big enough running start, we'll take a big portion of that. But the point really is for it to happen globally. I think Unit, it's just like any project will capture some of that value for a while, and hopefully for a long while, because go Unit. But yep. So how is profit made? Good question, Isipa. Sorry if I'm massacring your name. Profit is made. So you can create a token. You can raise money, by selling on the sale round, and then that goes into what's called a bank, not the treasury I was talking about. It goes into the bank, and you can take that off chain, and it's like working capital for your business. You can grow the business, and then you can return profits to the treasury. So it's effectively like a share. It's an evolution of shares, like a wrapper around your business. So that's you just make money from whatever you're doing in the world, but you can access all the other people through fundraising, and also like returning profits to the treasury, and people can share in that success. Basically, our treasury makes sure that they have the tokens backed by my treasury. Ariane, basically, our treasury makes sure they have tokens backed by my treasury. Well, each token has its own treasury. So the Rubin token has a treasury, the unit token has a treasury. The money that comes on the platform that you want to feed to the treasury. Reshab. So the point is that we can create our own token coin and sell it. I'll combine these two questions. So you don't necessarily sell the token. I mean, you can sell the token, but you share your enterprise with a broader scope of not just investors, but also I didn't go into this, but the members. So the tokens will actually end up being owned by the customers and the potential customers, because let's say, Starbucks creates the token, right? They're already publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, or actually, I'm not sure where they're traded. Maybe it's NASDAQ, but they already have a publicly traded stock. They also have a membership program that is kind of publicized, that they have recently have NFTs on Polygon, but they have a membership program for customers that they get Starbucks credits and they buy coffee. They get some kind of discounts for being Starbucks customers. Those two things are separate: the Starbucks shares and the Starbucks membership program for customers. What a token does is allows these two things to merge into one thing. So Starbucks created a token for their membership program, and then what they're feeding the treasury is not necessarily profit, because the profits they go to the shareholders and the traditional sort of publicly traded stock. But instead, it's a marketing expense. It's like not all the way down at the bottom line, but like it's a marketing that they may spend on Facebook ads, that they spend on whatever they're going to spend on for marketing their coffee, and they spend money on their membership program now. But instead of that, they put marketing tap money into their Starbucks token treasury, and that makes the token something people want to own. I mean, in addition to the membership benefits, it makes it financially interesting because there's a floor to it, right? So you feed the treasury. Now it's like anyone in the world can buy and sell it at a multiple of that book value of the membership. But the people who will tend to value it a little more, or maybe a lot more than just the financial value, are the customers, or the potential customers even. So the pie gets a lot bigger for Starbucks when you feed the treasury, when they feed their treasury. And as the success of that really takes off, less and less, I think, of the money will go to their bottom line and to shareholders and dividends, and more of it will go to their membership treasury that is owned by the customers. So the customers tends to usurp from the inside out, metamorphose the business from a shareholder-led thing to a customer-owned business, and every business will be like that. Starbucks is just an example. So it's quite cool because the founders and the investors, as well as the customers and the employees, on the other hand, become owners of one entity. So for a personal token, though, like the Rubin token or a Joe token, it's just it's an easy way to sort of onboard anybody, because anyone who's doing anything could be working at a movie theater, or a gas station attendant, or a famous rock star, whatever it is. It's not about brand value per se, like it is for celebrities and athletes on Instagram or something like that. You have to have brand value, or like people want to or be entertained by what you're doing. If you have an income, you can create a token, feed the treasury, and then go public. And the more people that are on this network, the more people, that might just walk, kind of be happening by your token and be like, oh, that seems like a good risk. It's only trading at a tiny amount above the treasury. There's very little risk there. I'd like to take a stake in this person's future, and we can see exactly how much you're feeding the treasury in real time. We can see exactly how much you still own of the token, because we don't have a legal right to your income. It's not like, you go to a court, hey, she's not putting, what the money in the income in the treasury, like we have a right to it. No, it's because you still have 70% of it, or 30% of it, or 90% of it. So we believe that you don't want to destroy the value of your own token. You'll continue feeding the treasury. Hope that helps answer those questions. So if something happens, can they get it from the treasury? Yes. So they can get it. You can redeem from the treasury anytime. so let's say with units, there's a half a cent per unit token. You can redeem that right now if you have a unit token, but you probably won't do that because you can sell it on the exchange for 47 cents, right? So only if you don't believe there's any future to a project, and if the market doesn't believe it, will it fall to that floor price, and then people will redeem from the treasury, and the project's over. But they can technically redeem it at any time. So if that answers that question, Aryan. Crystal, you think this is awesome? Me too, thanks. Rosa, do you have any individual success story? Well, so we have, so the unit token, as well as some city and industry tokens that we've issued, they're sort of trial balloons. You know, what's going to happen though is you can deposit, as I demonstrated the avalanche deposit, but you can't withdraw yet. So imagine a country like North Korea or Cuba or something that's quite closed economy. You don't really, nobody wants to come start a business there, right? But the withdrawals is really going to make it like a Dubai or Hong Kong, or like I said, the U.S. used to be in 1800s. Very free trade, open immigration. People can come and plant their token projects. So that will really kickstart the adoption, Rosa, and we'll have a lot of success stories that basically, not all at once, but like very quickly. We've been in this development phase, developing the technology. People can use it now, but it will be decentralized. It's quite centralized right now and closed. So it will be decentralized and open, and it will really kickstart adoption. You see, but why should I create a token? Any tips for new beginner on actually understanding why to create a token? How do you ensure you fully maximize creating a token? Good question. So, I mean, the way I think of it is, everyone's walking around in the world. We all own ourselves. Your most basic piece of property is yourself, your body, right? Everyone recognizes that nobody can infringe on that, at least legally. And, so we have these assault and battery laws and criminal laws to protect people's sovereignty over themselves, but we don't have a digital version of that. So that's unhackable. Bitcoin is this kind of nerdy sounding name. Ethereum is nerdy sounding. It's Matic, BNB. These are all kind of like, the very, very early stages of crypto, but they're not you, right? So Richard or Nikhil or Bobina, sorry, Martins, all of these, all of you have families and community, that care about you, right? So that's a community. That's not a nerdy sounding name. It's someone cares about you. Your business has a community. So each token is a way to bring that community together under the brand or the name of something that really you care about, right? So you can create a recycling token, movie industry token, which we have, which some of these we're creating ourselves to sort of get some group community tokens to get them off the ground. But anybody can create a token for any community that they care about. And, everyone, the personal token is just an example because I know that everybody cares about themselves and everybody has people that care about them. So everybody will, it's a way to gather people's interests and membership around you. And the way to maximize creating a token is to basically feed the treasury and market that. It's a way to market your token is to put resources in there or sell the token to people, and then what they use to buy it, don't take it off chain and run off and buy a Maserati or buy a cup of coffee even with it, but put it in the treasury that markets the token, that makes it a shared ownership of this powerful thing in the middle of the treasury. Crystal, I remember hearing a tiny bit about DOAs. I'm not sure what that stands for, and communities, but then there was some problems with it. It looks like it's all clear now. Could you speak on this? I remember people saying, stay away from DOAs. Anyone know what DOA means? Maybe they're writing it down here, somebody. DOAs in communities. Oh, sorry. I remember people saying stay away from DOAs, but I was not sure why.
I think you meant DAOs. I was thinking you meant DAOs.
DAOs. Yes, okay. Yeah, DAOs. Sorry, I got it now. People saying stay away from DAOs, but I was not sure why, and I've seen people continuing to build. I'd like to understand why this more, because this is wonderful. This is wonderful. Me too. I agree. So DAOs. So this is the evolution of DAOs as well. What's, people are creating. People think of government with this democracy, the governance, and DAOs, decentralized autonomous organization. People think of that as like, okay, how do we have better governance for this group? And there's a lot of talk about that, and maybe it's difficult to do, maybe it's easier to do. People are figuring it out. What unit we've called it the DAO of DAOs before, but it's really not the governance portion. It is the ownership portion. We found the treasury is a very subtle, powerful way to have the token be owned exactly in proportion by all the token owners. The fundamental value is owned by the token owners. Not like if a few of us had a bank account, each of us can go in and take everything out. That's not the way the treasury works here. It's like if each, the three of us that had a bank account and I have 25% of it, two other people each, together have 75%. I could take out 25% of it only, so it's kind of like a shared bank account. So it's a DAO in the sense that it's shared ownership. And yeah, so it's quite powerful. It doesn't exist in crypto at this point. So maybe that's why you heard that there were some problems with it, or maybe some other ones, but there's definitely a future for DAOs. Hello, I'm Srinivasan. Welcome. Yeah, I'm a study group. Okay. All right. I see. Just writing some stuff. Got your point. The idea is awesome. Right. How to market a token. How to market it. Okay. So what's going to be really cool about the network effect of people being on Unit is that in addition to marketing efforts that, let's say Starbucks, to use that example again, if they have a token, they have their own marketing efforts that they do. Treasury that helps to market their token makes it something that people want to own. But the network effect of having a lot of people tokenizing basically this public market for everything is that there's a lot of foot traffic. People will be able to search by different types of tokens. Which ones have the least multiple of their minimum value. So that de-risks it for people. But yeah, I mean, in addition to marketing, you would do for any business or your community, if it's a personal token or business token, there will be a lot of power in the network effect of people being on the network. Here's a link to sign up on. Yeah, thank you for that, Unit Masters. Hope you enjoyed the demo session. Community funding, I believe. Yes, talking about down spelled backwards.
So there's a question somewhere by someone asking how to market a token.
Yep, that's the one I was just answering. So basically, you market it by feeding the treasury, and just in the same way that you would market, if it's a business, the same way you market your products anyway. But what's cool about the token is you can treat it because, as I mentioned in the Starbucks example, the token will tend to be owned by the customers and potential customers. So you could think of the token as maybe like a pre-sold product. So if people buy the token, whether it's from the exchange by putting some liquidity in there and people buy it, this publicly traded token, or by selling it directly, and the money that people use to buy it goes to the bank and you put in the treasury. Either way, they're buying your product before it's the coffee or whatever you're selling. They're buying membership in this community, and so it's a rising value membership program. That is, yes, it's the entity or the token, the business or the community that's owned by the participants and by the stakeholders. Yep, hope that makes sense. So yeah, no one can run off with the funds. I'm not sure how it was. 45 minutes in. Is that enough or too much or what? I'm not sure.
Okay, we just see if there are more questions. If you still have questions, please put it in the chat while we're here. Okay.
Businesses market their token by showing influence and profits. In a similar way, we can market our token by filling 100%. Yep, treasury it's a great way to market. Yep. and then you can add it on top. I mean, it can be incentives like, people doing whatever they do, giveaways or just on Instagram or something, like however they're marketing, they can offer their token just like they're offering their product. You can get some free, buy one, get one, it's basically like get some of this token that'll entitle you to some membership benefits of the business or whatever you're doing.
Can we say that marketing in Web3, it has some similarities with marketing in Web2, right? Same way the market Web2 products, same way you could market tokens in Web3.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about, like, there are some projects like Rally or other, like some community tokens where you can buy a team, like a football team or something, but it doesn't really entitle you to. You get maybe, I mean, you don't own a stake in the team if you buy, Manchester United token, right? Or you don't have a stake in Messi if you buy his token, right? You have his token, it's a fan token or something, but maybe you get some t-shirts or maybe a ticket to a game. But it's really, it's not, you don't have a stake in Messi's career. And of course, Messi is very far along in his career, but if you meet, you meet your high school friend or you're 10 years old or whatever, or you see someone super talented, you can take a long-term stake in them because maybe they're a musician, but you can tell they have an amazing singing voice or awesome at guitar or something, but they don't have the money to do that. They can raise money from people, and then the people that are giving them money have their token, so they have a long-term interest in that person's success and career. There are many use cases, but yeah, effectively the treasury becomes the marketing mechanism for each token.
Great. And so Ariane did put a comment in the chat.
It's quite similar to what they see as doing. Yeah, NFTs are meant to be membership too. Sorry, I got kids running around here. The NFTs are meant to be memberships as well, but the difference is that there's no floor. There's no. You can own, let's say, even a Starbucks NFT, but you don't have a stake in the business ongoing. Then it's just, you're still just a member. You're a customer. It doesn't bridge that divide between founders, investors, customers, employees. On the other side, it's still just like, it's just a kind of a way to remain a customer because you don't have an ongoing stake in what they're doing.
Okay. So can we say that for a token, when you buy into a token, it gives you the benefits of having not just a reward for being an owner, but also enables you to participate in the governance of that, should I say, ecosystem?
Actually, maybe this is a good time to share the screen one more time here. So each token, we use the unit token again. Each token has a number of community features. So the unit token, to your question, I use the pin again. To your question about governance, you can use the polling features. They're being rolled out one by one here. So I think there's going to be about 18 of them right now. We've got 5 of them that are live. I'm not sure if polling is even here yet. Okay, it's not. So contests, events, gift boxes, groups. So polling will, you can have polls. Anybody in the community can do a poll of other token owners, and they can vote, on whatever, I think you could make it binding. Maybe the creator of the token will be able to make it binding. I'm not 100% sure about that because it hasn't been rolled out yet. But at a minimum, it's at least you can take the pulse of the community and see what people think about a certain topic. And so contests, just to kind of show, make a video about unit. I can't even see this is covered. Okay, so make a video about unit. This is 100 unit. You can earn 100 unit by doing this, whatever this is. You make a video. Actually, I think this is a real one. So maybe you can, whoever wants to submit a video about unit, you might win. There's 2 winners of 100 unit. it's 50 cents each right now. I think I mean, who knows? I think they'll be worth quite a lot more in the future. So that's quite cool. Each token will have these community features and kind of events as well. We happen to have had this is the conference. Unconference. Huh. Maybe I'll show you one. So I did this one a little while ago. The B, this is BNBU, the wrapped Binance token on Unit Network. The community features, there have been events, the 2 events historically, and hosting attended. I just said there was. Well, it's in development, so I guess it didn't show up. But it said there were 2 events. I know that there were because I did one of them. So we had a World B&B forum, effectively like just like this on Zoom, but you get up to 6 different rooms that people can share their ideas or whatever they're doing for a half hour. That's what we're doing, these unconferences. But every token has the ability to create events. Is kind of the point I'm making. I think I created an avalanche here. Create one for upcoming new events. Not helping me out here. Oh, what do you do? All right. Stop there. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you get the idea. Effectively, people will be able to do governance through polling, and it's not automatically binding. I don't think that's the vision of it, but yeah, at least you can have the community speak. What problem is kind of NFT with some kinds of fund security? Yes, fund security. The problem is Rubin token trying to solve. Okay, how does Rubin token wish to solve it? So Rubin is a person that has a balance sheet, has an income. Where is he here? There he is. Hey, Rubin. They spelled your name R-U-B-B-I. Just kidding. But it's just like I say, it's just him and his bank, or wherever maybe he's just in a wallet. Just him. He's not really sharing with the community that people that are that he cares about, that care about him. So he is able to participate with the rest of the world and have people share in his success. And when people share in his success, his pie gets bigger. So basically, more people are looking out for opportunities for him, because not just because they think he's a great guy, which is what we've been doing to this point in history. Like, hopefully people remember how they got introduced. Oh yeah, I'm part of that network too. It's kind of this unwritten or unpublished emotional bank account that we have with each other. How much we trust each other, et cetera, et cetera. This is a way to share in each other's success on a blockchain way, on a ledger that's shared success. And he can add membership benefits of any kind that he wants to. But at a minimum, he shares his success with his community and his future with his community in a way that just wasn't possible before. Could you explain how vaults and unit reserves, how is it different from regular centralized exchanges? Okay, thank you. Thanks for the question. So vaults and unit reserves. So the vaults are a different thing. I didn't really explain that. Maybe how much time do we have? Come on. Go over to the system here. The vaults are that make for decentralized wrapping and unwrapping of tokens on your network. So vaults over here. When someone deposits Bitcoin, Ethereum, DOT, any of these 18 different assets, this is Tether and USDC, Kronos, the Open Network, Cosmos, etc. These are some of the biggest projects, 18 of the biggest ones, not the 18 biggest, but 18 of the biggest. I think we'll have the top 100 actually will be able to be ported onto Unit Network. So when someone has Unit token, they stake Unit in a vault, and I don't want to get too deep in here because we've already introduced a lot of topics here, but someone stakes Unit, and then when someone deposits Bitcoin, the Bitcoin gets distributed among the Bitcoin vaults. And we don't have the list of them here right now, but that will open up with the vaults. The vaults are not open yet, so they're in development. But basically, the Bitcoin will be spread among the community of people on Unit that have staked Unit. So it's decentralized custody, so there's no central point of failure for the reserves. I think that's the question that you're asking. What gets deposited to Unit is not held in one place that can be hacked or that can be, shut down by a government, but instead it's distributed among many people across the network that hold the Bitcoin. So then when someone has BTCU, okay, like I showed you how you can deposit Avalanche, right? So let's use Avalanche as an example then, since we're doing that. So AVAX here, I deposited point something or 1 point something AVAX, right? And that went to somebody's Avalanche wallet. So now if I have AVAXU and I have it here, if I want to withdraw AVAXU to AVAX, there will be just a deposit button here, but also a withdrawal button, right? So if I go withdraw this amount of AVAX, or one AVAX, right, however much it is, and I think it's a minimum of $1,000 actually. So let's say I had 1,000 AVAX. So I want to withdraw $1,000 worth of AVAX. I put that in there. I go withdraw AVAX, and then it goes into a queue. It'll be a queue just like this. If somebody wants to withdraw that amount of Avalanche, all the people that have staked Unit in an Avalanche vault, they compete to process that withdrawal, because when they send me the AVAX, they keep 0.5% of it, right? So there's 0.5% goes to the Unit treasury, 0.5% goes to the AVAX, the person processing the withdrawal, the vault. So people are going to be depositing, basically getting loans of crypto tokens, and then processing withdrawals. And there'll be a lot of circulation in and out of the Unit network and growing the network state in that way. So it's decentralized custody that rewards people for processing withdrawals. And yeah, I hope that answers your question. I think that's what you were asking. And so do I buy Bitcoins or Unit tokens? Well, you deposit or withdraw Bitcoin, or Ethereum or something, or any of the 18 different assets that I just showed you on the vaults there. And then you can buy Unit, or you can do whatever you want. Actually, you can buy USDU, which allows you to go to any of the exchanges and buy any of the other tokens, including BTCU, because there's a BTCU USDU pool, and ETHU USDU pool, .u USDU pool, AVAXU USDU pool, as well as every other token with USDU. So you can use USDU to buy any token on his exchange. Yeah, cool. So I hope that makes sense. You can also just buy directly from their own sale page, as I think I showed with Ruben or Unit. So I think we're on an hour. Maybe we'll wrap it up. Cool. Thanks everyone for listening, and good questions, and thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joe. It's great to have you.
Yep.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for today's demo session. We hope that you have learned a lot and you make the best use of the information that you have learned here today. And looking forward to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.